Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic. Let's see what's going on, my guides. Talk to me about the Rams. What do we got going on here in early November? Energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries in early November. What's happening? It's Scorpio season, a beautiful time of year. Let's see what energies are swirling around. What's the energy? What's the vibe? What is happening? We gotta go. There it is. Thank you. All right, so we have the Queen of Swords energy showing up here initially. Really powerful, straightforward. Now, the deck we're dealing with here is an oracle, so obviously this isn't the tarot deck, but if you take a look at that imagery, that is a no BS, no nonsense type of energy that's leading us off here. Okay. Now, as an Aries myself, I know sometimes we could be very lighthearted, but there could be something. And I mean, we'll get into that. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this Queen of Swords. So we see this very powerful divine feminine figure, like very straight-faced, no BS. So when I see her, I'm like, okay, either something is very cut and dry that you're dealing with, where it's like, oh no, this isn't super complicated, it's actually simple, or there could be something that either you need to take seriously or you are. This could be a very good energy of honesty. And again, as an Aries myself, I know we're usually happy-go-lucky types of individuals, but we could be very blunt. That's kind of what I'm picking up here. So just know, like, when it comes to your words and how you express yourself, I mean, you might be a little extra straightforward to the point. That's a little scary with Aries like us, right? Now, there are some challenges when it comes to the Queen of Swords. I mean, unless you're dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, when I see her challenge could be she's a little too cold. Okay? She could be someone that's a little cold-hearted, even a little mean. So this is an energy we want to keep a look at as the reading evolves. But for some of us, that could be a very good thing. It's like, nope, not messing around here. Straightforward to the point. So we're just going to leave her right there for now. Let's get into tarot. And I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Aries friends. And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. I was seeing a cycle of some sort in last week's reading. It was titled A Big Return. So for a lot of Aries in this time, whether it's situations resurfacing, individuals resurfacing, the past looping back around, that's kind of what I was picking up in a couple of spots in the reading last week. So just know that that energy could still bleed over for a couple of weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it is for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get 3 cards here to start us off. What do we got for Aries, please? In early November, final quarter of the year. All right, working hard for a lot of Aries. You might just be in Pentacle mode. I mean, this can link into connections and relationships as well. When I see the 8 of Pentacles, especially in the leadoff position, I mean, there's a lot of effort. There's a lot of energy moving. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. 6 of Cups. All right, yeah, so there's a little tie-in to the vibe that we saw last week. So it's still lingering. It's okay, though. I mean, that could just represent a very important individual. And there's the King of Swords. So we have the Queen of Swords. Now we have the King of Swords chilling right here. So that's a very, very similar theme to what we were picking up with that first card. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, I'm looking over here at the spread. You know, I always analyze the elements first and how they play off of each other. There is a lot of internal energy with the cups and the swords. That's like the logic and mind. We also have the realm of feeling and creativity, emotions, and there's this material world energy showing up here as well. So I feel like we have an interesting mixture at play. It's not leaning too far one way or another. It feels very centered or centrist, if I say so myself. But let's go through each want and really start to build this out, because this could be different situations. It really depends on what you're going through. But position number 1, we're starting here with the 8 of Pentacles. Now we see our good friend here. He's at the workbench. He's working real hard, real diligent, making those pentacles, making something. That's why I said this is one of the ones I link to career, how we earn money, what we do for money. This could just be a very busy type of energy as well. So for some areas, maybe your energy's in a lot of places, or you have a lot on your plate, or there could be a lot of energy moving towards you with this card. But there is that focus on the monetary or career thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Aries have a big focus there with this card. Now, where this ties into connections, relationships, or life itself, there's effort here. There's somebody that's either working to build something, possibly mending things as well when we see this card, like fix it, make it right. So we'll see how it all plays out when we get through the rest of the reading. But I do like this. Now, there is a challenge with this card. This 8 of Pentacles could sometimes represent somebody that's doing a little too much, working a little too hard, or maybe there's an imbalance in something where it's like, all right, well, that they're not holding up their end of the bargain. Like, I'm doing a little too much, they're not doing enough. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. So we'll see what's up with it when we clarify it for sure. But I feel like this could be very good. The energy is flowing, the energy is moving. I'd say at the very least, you might be very busy. But moving to the center, we have the 6 of Cups. Now, out of the whole deck, this is one of the cards that links most to the past, history, okay? Fond memories, memories in general. We see these 2 young children sharing the cup together. So when it comes to individuals or connections, this can represent soul ties, or people that we have a lot of history with, or a lot of memories when this card is here. So we might be seeing the energy of someone you're connected to when this card is here. It is something about the past, though. So it links into the reading we saw last week, where I'm like, okay, there could be situations that resurface. There could be individuals that resurface. That could still be said with this card. There's a depth here, though. Okay, there is something here about history, but I feel like there's a strong depth. And I do feel for a good chunk of you, we might just be seeing someone else's vibe here. Okay, usually this is a card of caring. It's sharing. It's a really good energy to start, right? And you know how it goes with readings. When we clarify it, that could really shift the vibe. But when I see the 8 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups, there could be a very important connection on your mind, someone wanting to repair it or work on it or work towards it. We'll just see how it all plays. When we get to the back end, I'm getting that little shift again, because we have the King of Swords himself chilling right here. Now, all kings represent control of their respective suits. So the King of Swords, the realm of the mind, the realm of speaking, conversational. So there could be someone trying to keep their mind right or get their mind right when the King of Swords is here. Someone who's trying to control a narrative or try to control a conversation. That could also be the case here. But similarly to that Queen of Swords energy we picked up in the very beginning, this card is very serious. No BS, no nonsense. So again, like with all the stuff we're seeing here, if there's something you need to take a closer look at, be a little more detailed, or get serious about something. If not that, I would say for a lot of Aries, with what I was picking up in the beginning, you might just be extra blunt, extra like straightforward. Like, it is what it is, like, and that's all it is type of energy. This card also, aside from communication, because this could also be a great communicator, the King of Swords is a card of planning. Okay, it's a card of strategy. He's got a plan in his hands, right? And he's going to try to put it forth. So there could be something here involving strategy or planning that we want to look at, whether it's coming from someone else's end or yours. Okay, maybe there's something that you need to plan the steps out. It all depends. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries, so let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we have for Aries? Please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that 8 of Pentacles. Oh, yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, 8 of Pentacles time. What's going on here? Okay, that card, as soon as I started shuffling, it popped out. Okay, so for some Aries, you might be making a decision to like either stop putting effort into something or to not put as much effort into it. Okay, and that could range a whole different thing, whole different spectrum of topics, right? But we have the 10 of Swords, and you saw as soon as I went to go do the first shuffle, it's like it got slapped out of my hand. So We're taking it. That's the message here. Now, for a portion of you, when I see this alignment together, it's like, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's call an audible, or that didn't work. Let's try a different way. So there could be a good energy here of like taking a different approach to things. Okay. Like when I see this, you know, the Ten of Swords in its classical form, it could represent endings. It could represent pain. It could just represent the end of the road in regards to something. So when we see it connected to career for a portion of you, maybe there are some difficulties in that area of life. But the intuitive messages, I already told you, I'm going to give them to you again. Either one, and that's another thing I know as an Aries myself. If we feel like we're putting a lot of energy into something and we're not getting the results, I mean, there will come a time where it's like, okay, I'm just not going to put energy into this anymore for whatever reason, or I'm going to stop putting as much energy into it. So just know there could be various things that you're going to decide to just like, yeah, either end or not put energy into for whatever reason. Okay, either that or it's alternate planning where it's like, okay, well, that didn't work that way. Let's try a different route. Let's try. There is an energy of somebody trying to fix something too. So it's like a bizarre type of vibe that we're leading off here. So let's just keep moving forward. We'll talk about that more during the recap, just to put it in a nutshell. Yeah, possible ending, something you might stop giving energy to, or once again, there's a problem solving. Let's find a different way. Okay, so let's go in on that Six of Cups. Let's see why that Six of Cups is here. Thank you. Four of Swords. And you know, I can't let go of this energy that I'm getting here as well. With the Four of Swords and the Six of Cups, it's either coming to peace with something or accepting something for what it is, but it's also giving me a vibe of, I'm going to leave this alone for whatever reason. And remember, this could be any various different area of life, but that's a connecting theme I'm seeing in both of these spreads where it's like, and usually us Aries, we are very action oriented. We go. We always want those results. When I'm seeing this here in the front end, now the Six of Cups with the Four of Swords, it's like, maybe I'm not going to do much, or maybe I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to see how it evolves on its own. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. Now, I still want to mention for a lot of Aries, there could still be this energy of the past cycling back around, that's for sure. But the Four of Swords is a card of rest. So I feel like this could, yes, be a very healing energy for a lot of Aries, where it's like either you come to peace with something or accept it with the past showing up here in the center. But the main vibe I'm picking up is like, I'm going to let this be for whatever reason, or we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, that's just the big vibe I'm picking up here in the first part of this spread. So we're going to keep moving. And remember, if you're a cross watcher, the same could apply. If you're watching this for an Aries, it all depends on your situation. There is somebody not putting in a lot of effort into something, but it's like purposeful, if that makes sense. Let's keep moving. It's not like this person doesn't want to, it's purposeful. Like, I'm going to leave this alone. Let's keep moving over to the King of Swords. We'll see what he has to say. Then we'll get into a quick shadow card after the recap. So, I mean, for some Aries out there, this could just represent someone you're connected to as well. Because like I said, this doesn't quite feel very Aries-like to me. Usually we're on the move, we're on the go, or we like some action. This one's like, there's like stopping. There's a stopping. So let's move in on that King of Swords. So why is it here? A stopping or an ending, possibly? Why is that King of Swords here? Thank you. Okay. So this quiet, this stoppage, it could be a possible facade from somebody as well. Okay, so we have the Hermit in reverse underneath the King of Swords. This could be somebody that doesn't want to make the wrong move. They don't want to mess something up. The Hermit in reverse is Virgo energy, of course, but usually the Hermit is withdrawn. It's pulled back. It's not doing anything, kind of like what we have here in the front. So when I see it in reverse, the energy is coming forth or something's being revealed. Now, I will say this once again, with the King of Swords, Hermit in reverse, there is somebody that could be putting a plan into motion. If you are dealing with somebody where it's like, oh, they seem very detached, or it seems like nothing's going on, I don't quite buy it fully. Okay, remember I said it's not about the lack of want. It's like purposely leaving something alone. So when I see the King of Swords, Hermit in reverse, there is somebody that is planning something and they're going to put it into action, or the energy is coming forth in a very careful way. Okay, so again, yeah, we have the seriousness and everything else we were talking about. I would just proceed with caution with various situations in this time. You know, as I mentioned several times, us Aries, we're very go, 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 action, action, action. I think we need to be a little more calculated when I see this type of vibe as well. So either you need to plan something or somebody else is going to put it into motion. I would take your time as well. Don't rush into things or don't rush anything along. That's a nice vibe I'm picking up in this week's reading. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the 8 of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords in the upright. So like I said, the first thing that popped into my head was like, all right, you might be deciding to not put energy into something. This could possibly be an ending. I don't feel like it's like giving up and throwing your hands up completely. It's just like, all right, I'm not going to put a lot of energy into that right now. For some of you, there could be difficulties at work and career, but for another portion of you, I also get like a problem solving, which kind of fits in with this planning strategy we have on the back end. Okay, so it's like, all right, well, I know what won't work. Let's find a different route. Moving to the center, we have the 6 of Cups with the 4 of Swords in the upright. So that could be very healing for a lot of Aries where you're just like at peace with something. It is what it is. I accept it. But I'm also getting the vibe of like, listen, I'm going to go hands off for a minute. I'm just going to let it be what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to put a lot of effort into something. I'm just going to let it do what it does. On to the back end, we have the King of Swords with the Hermit in reverse. There is an energy that will come forth here for sure. Right on the back end, there is a strategy, a planning, and a cautious, careful approach here. So whether it's someone you're connected to, that they might be planning something, who knows, but it just feels to me very cautious and calculated. So for some situations you're going through, I wouldn't rush it, especially with all this energy up here. So yeah, please take a screenshot of that. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Aries, please. What's in the shadows? And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card going here for Aries. What's happening? Thank you. Okay, Knight of Pentacles. So that fits in with the big theme that we're seeing throughout the whole entire reading, where I saw a hands-off approach, a very slow, cautious, calculated approach, and we pull the slowest moving knight. Now, in tarot, of course, this could represent an earth sign you're connected to. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But if that's not the case, out of all the knights, which all represent action and movement, this is the slowest one. This is the most cautious one, the most detail-oriented one. So I feel like for a lot of you that it really ties into the reading itself, where this week you should probably take it slow. You shouldn't rush anything. You shouldn't pressure anything. It's like just let something evolve. Let it take shape. Let it cook a little bit. That's the big energy I'm picking up here. Now, for some of you, when I see the Knight of Pentacles in the shadows, it could represent a sense of frustration. Okay, makes sense with all the stuff we've been seeing. So for some Aries, there could be something where it's like you're getting impatient with it. But the main thing I'm picking up here is just like take this slow, steady approach. That's what Spirit's really advising, especially when we saw it within the whole spread itself. So we're going to put that Knight of Pentacles right there. He could chill by all the crystals. Aries, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble with understanding its meaning? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.